from the time the story broke on Friday, Hillary Clinton and her allies have been trying to make this story all about James Comey and the FBI director's decision to send that cryptic letter to Congress at the end of last week, with the election just days away. Today, during the White House briefing, the press secretary Josh Earnest refused to defend or to criticize Comey. Other Democrats, though, including Congressman Elijah Cummings of Maryland, have rushed to Clinton's defense.
Now we have a situation where he's come out with this vague letter. We don't know how many of these emails are duplicative. We don't know very much at all. But this letter has been put out there, and I think he has now placed her in a situation where she's basically being questioned and asked to defend something. She doesn't know what she's defending. And so, you know, I just think that he made a mistake. And I think he needs to try to correct that. And one of the things he can do is let us know. I mean, he's put out this information with regard to, Secretary Clinton. There are also some questions about Mr. Trump, his associates, the Russians, and any coordination and cooperation with regard to our elections.
Clinton's pushback effort also includes the release of a bipartisan letter signed by more than 100 former federal prosecutors and Justice Department officials expressing concern about Comey's actions. And the Senate's top Democrat, Harry Reid, released his own letter that went as far as to say that the FBI director might have violated the Hatch Act, the federal law that bars officials from using their authority to influence elections. Donald Trump's team also out in force with what appears to be two distinct talking points: that regardless of Comey's decision, this is a scandal of Clinton's own making, and that the media is focusing on the wrong aspects of this story because it's in the tank for the Democrats.
This is mind-blowing. That everybody is rushing to her defense. There should be serious questions about how they handle it. The only reason we're here is that they violated rules and regulations from the get-go. If Hillary Clinton and her aides had used a State Department email, which was the rule at the time, and hadn't tried to bleach it away, and hadn't self-selected the emails, and hadn't lied over and over again, we wouldn't be here. This is a scandal of their own choosing. They chose to evade government rules and regulations. They chose to lie and lie and lie, and this is where we are. They have no one to blame but themselves.
John, which side, Team Clinton or Team Trump, is so far handling this Comey-induced chaos better?
Well, look, I think that it's easier for the Trump campaign, and they're doing a fine job at driving the 2 points that they want to drive. It's a much harder situation to be, again, just talking here strategically, tactically, to be in the Clinton camp's place. And I think given the difficulty that they've faced, just purely politically, not on the merits here, just how are they doing at pushback, they've done a pretty good job going on offense, attacking Comey, and getting a sense of bipartisan, in some respects, bipartisan condemnation of Comey for doing something that seems to have violated the Justice Department's own customs and the way in which it's supposed to operate this close to an election day. I think they've done, as pushback goes, they're doing it pretty effectively and efficiently.
Yeah, the Clinton campaign could easily have tried to ignore this, pretend it didn't exist. Hillary Clinton, press conference on Friday, she's talked about it in her events very aggressively, whipping up the crowd. I agree with exactly what you said. Both sides have played their hands pretty well and pretty aggressively and without many errors. I will say, because we haven't condemned Comey yet in this episode.
Yes, let's go.
What Comey did is receiving widespread bipartisan condemnation. And if you look at coverage from around the country, national and the battleground states, the Clinton campaign clearly decided Friday, we're going to take the risk. We're going to take on the FBI director, make this about him. Yep. And a lot of the news coverage, as Republicans point out, has been about him. I understand why Republicans are hot on this story, but we don't really know much at this point about how incriminating this might be. I'm amazed Republicans haven't jumped more on that Wall Street Journal story, suggesting that some people in the Justice Department were not keen on investigating the Clinton Foundation. Last thing I'll say is that this aggressiveness by the Clinton folks is I won't say it's uncharacteristic, but it is reminiscent, I should say, of the way Bill Clinton would have fought back. And I think that's a pretty positive praise you can give somebody to say it's Clinton-esque in terms of pushback.